So let's do a thought experiment around Machiavelli. He really hates the church, but he also talks about religion. And he won't outright say religion is bad, but it's clear that he thinks the papacy is disrupting how Europe generally works and how Italy works. So what's going on? Is he a Protestant? What's happening with him? And this is one of those moments where it's really clear that there's a contradiction flag, right? Contradiction, you should be saying, hey, what's going on? How can he be saying these two things, and how do I reconcile them? Is he just dumb? Does he not know what he's saying? So if you're reading a great book, odds are that person may be wrong, but they're not dumb. If you're reading a philosopher who's lasted for a long time, you probably are dealing with someone who's smart, and there's a reason they're doing what they're doing, even if you don't ultimately agree with where it's headed. So then you have to say, okay, well, there's a limit to Machiavelli's embrace of Christianity. There's something not straightforward about it, and there's a critique happening. What's the problem with Christianity? This is the problem with Christianity. It teaches people to have their eye on another world. He thinks, and there are lots of responses to this by theologians and political theologians, he thinks if your eye is on the other world, it can't be on this world. And so what that means is that your heart becomes divided between the next life and this one, and you will choose the next life every time because it deals with eternal salvation. So let's say there's a political actor that can say that they are in charge of that eternal salvation. Imagine that. If that is the thing that is driving someone's behavior, then that person will be controlled by that political entity. So the papacy is powerful when the Italian city-states are not united. That means that they want to keep those people at war and at odds. Okay? So religion is a tool to do this by. And in seeking to be an earthly kingdom, the papacy, in Machiavelli's opinion, doesn't act much differently than political kingdoms generally, but in fact actually acts worse than them because they don't have a political conception of the common good. They're not thinking in political terms about political stability, and in fact, in a lot of places, it seems like they're causing political instability on purpose to maintain their power. This is his problem, his political problem with the Christianity of his time. But it is predicated on the earlier problem I talked about, that Christianity gives people a divided heart. It is an authoritative teaching. Christ is the ultimate unarmed prophet, and Machiavelli says they don't prevail. The thing is, Christ prevailed, at least in the sense of what that meant, the incarnation meant for Western civilization. People are willing to die for him. They would give up what Machiavelli thinks is most natural, the life. So the Christian, on the one hand, can be controlled by an entity that says they have control over eternal life. On the other hand, no entity that does not have that kind of control has power over them.